The next item is superintendent's recommendations and reports. And I think, is that Mr. Martin covering that tonight?
That's actually me.
It's back to you. Okay.
Yep. Yes, it is. So thank you, Mr. Birdie. Members of the board, I have several items for your consideration under personnel professional. Number one, resignations, letters A through D. I would like to draw your attention to letter C. Sue Shepard, our nurse at West Elementary, is retiring. So we want to wish her well and certainly thank her for her years of service. Number two, unpaid leaves of absence, letters A and B. Number three, employment, letters A through G. Letter H, new one-year limited teacher contracts as listed. Letter I, new two-year limited teacher contracts effective with the 2021-2022 school year as listed. There are several pages of those. Letter J, new continuing teacher contracts effective with the 2021-2022 school year as listed. K, recommend approval of the supplemental contracts for extended service days for the 2021-2022 school year per FCTA contract section 6.08. L, recommend approval of the supplemental contracts for co-curricular placements for the 2021-2022 school year per FCTA contract section 6.07. M, recommend approval of 10 extended service days for school psychologist Ray So for the 2021-2022 school year. Letter N, elementary summer school tutoring principal substitute as listed. Letter O, elementary summer school tutors 2020-2021 as listed. P, substitute teachers 2020-2021 again as listed. And letter Q, home instructors 2020-2021. And that concludes the items that I have for your consideration this evening under personnel professional.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to accept those recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Or Mr. Clark and Mrs. Shorter. Any questions or comments? Hey, Mrs. Lane, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mrs. Shorter?
Yes.
Mrs. Gundrum?
Yes.
Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Mr. Birding?
Yes, motion passes.
Mr. Birdie, members of the board, I have several items for your consideration under personnel support. Number one, resignations, letters A through E. Number two, unpaid leave of absence, letters A and B. And number three, employment, letters A and B. And that concludes the items I have for your consideration under personnel support.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. This time, I entertain a motion to accept those recommendations.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Begley and Mrs. Gundrum, any questions or comments? Mrs. Lane, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Mrs. Gundrum?
Yes.
Mrs. Shorter?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mr. Birding?
Yes, motion passes.